do many presses in Holland?
No.
Excellent. Catherine, whenever you're ready.
Lovely, thank you very much. Hi Radinio, good to talk to you. Firstly, how are you feeling after your sickness bug last week?
I feel good again. There was only one to 2 days. But yeah, I feel good again and happy to be on the pitch again.
I understand that you were able to go and watch the Blackburn game, is that correct? And what did you make of it?
Yeah, I was. They wanted me to be with the team and like be around them to see how it goes, because it's a little bit different than in the Netherlands. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, of course, it was different with the fans at away game, but it was nice to see the guys play, and I think we should have won that game. But yeah, it is what it is.
What could maybe have gone better on the day, do you think, to get all 3 points rather than just the one?
Well, first of all, finishing off the chances we had. I feel like we were defending pretty well, and then in the transition we had some good chances. So for next time we need to, make those chances.
And it's going to be a tough start if selected, if you go into the squad to face QPR on Sunday. It's a really crucial game. How do you approach games with so much riding on them?
Not different than other games. I mean, every game you want to win, so I feel like I specifically, I can only talk about myself, I just approach every game as like my last. I want to win every game, and then at the end we'll see where we're at.
Does it help to kind of go in with that fairly calm approach, not look too much at positions of teams in the league, that kind of thing, just take each one on its own merit?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. I think that's very important, because if you're gonna look at the rankings all the time, you're gonna put pressure on yourself, and of course you need to cope with the pressure. But if you don't have to have the pressure from the rankings, that will of course help you not like to be nervous during a game.
There is big expectation. The chairman, the owner of Huddersfield Town, Kevin Nagle, has said this is a must-win game. Is that helpful from a player's point of view, or do you have to accept that pressure comes with the job?
Of course you have to accept it, and of course everybody knows it. Of course we're trying not to look at the rankings too much, but on the other hand, you know that if you lose this game, it's gonna be more tight up down there. So, and if you win, you have a little bit of a gap. So yeah, we of course know that it's an important game for us, and we need to win it. So yeah, that will always be there, but it's also part of the job, like you said.
What are your expectations of playing English football in the Championship then? Do you think it's going to be a lot different to what you've done before?
Well, I've already seen it's different. In the second league, of course, the level is a little bit lower than the Eredivisie where I played before, the year before. I feel like it's similar playing style, but then with better players and faster as well. It's gonna be something I have to get used to, but I also feel like it suits me as a player. So I'm looking forward to starting a game.
In what way do you think it will maybe suit you then?
I feel like it's very fast-paced. I think one of my strengths is that I'm fast, and I can be really good in one-on-one situations with a lot of space. And I feel like that's what's happening a lot in this competition. So that's why I think it suits me.
Have you always been quick as a player?
Yeah, I think so. Like now I'm gonna see if I'm really quick, because I haven't played yet. But so far in the leagues I've played in, yeah.
And were you always a defender as well, or when you were learning the game, did you play other positions on the pitch?
No, of course, everybody when they start, I don't think they want to be a defender. Maybe a few, but I started off as a right winger. So I wanted to score goals, give assists, but then it didn't work out as a right winger, and then slowly I came down to centre back.
Certainly your teammate Mikael Hellig is very good at getting goals from a defender's point of view, so maybe give him a run for his money.
Yeah, no, I told him if I play, I'm gonna help him to get to that 10, because if you get to 10 as a defender, I mean, that'd be awesome. And of course, I'm gonna try to score my own goals, but if I can help him to get to 10, that would be amazing.
You're clearly not afraid of taking on a new challenge, and you've had some difficult experiences, I think, looking back at your career, particularly having joined Groningen and picking up that serious injury right at the start of your time there. How much did that affect you, and how much ultimately has it helped you with your mentality and how you approach football, having gone through that?
Well, I think, of course, it's one of the biggest things that happened in my career. It also, sometimes people say I don't want it to happen, but on the other hand, it also helped me, like I said, change my mentality. You come in sort of like a normal thing. I'm a soccer player, a football player. It's just a normal thing. But when you lose that, because you're a year like gone from football, so you lose that, and then you realize that playing football is so much fun, and that you need to have that to play really good football. And I feel like that's what I got from that injury. Of course, it wasn't the best timing with just coming to Groningen, but it also taught me a lot about being mentally strong, and I feel like that is helping me now transitioning to a different country. And yeah, I feel like that has shaped me as a player as well. And of course, you missed a year, but on the other hand, you gained a lot of other things and wisdom from it.
Does it make you appreciate the game more?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Like I said, it's becoming a little bit automatic when you're a player and you play all the time. And when you don't have it anymore, that's when you realize how much you love it. And that's what I got back from it again.
So we'll be seeing you playing with a smile on your face.
Yes. Well, I hope so. I mean, of course, if we win, then I have a smile on my face. But if we're not winning, then I'm not going to be with the smile on my face. But yeah.
Yeah, of course. Equally at Groningen, you experienced relegation with them. Although I think personally you had quite a good season by all accounts. Again, from that kind of a setback, what did you learn from that experience that perhaps might benefit you now that you're at Huddersfield and they're also going through some difficult times?
I feel like what I learned from it is don't look too far ahead. Just what I said. Just try to do it one by one, like game by game. Because at Groningen, I think we had a lot of setbacks with like upstairs with everything going on with directors and everything. And besides that, we were always saying we're not going to relegate, and at the end we did. So I feel like you should just look at it game by game and don't look at the other things and just focus on one game. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do now. Like I said, going into Sunday, one game, and then see where we're at after that.
Well, lovely to have you with us. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you for your time today, Radinio.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Catherine. We're just going to come to Leon in the room.
Hi. Was there interesting last summer, wasn't there, as well, from Huddersfield? Were you aware of that then? Or?
No, I wasn't, but it went through my agent. So, but yeah, I just always told my agent if it becomes concrete, then I want to know it, and that I don't think it ever became concrete, or it never came to my attention. Let me say it like that.
You're a young lad growing up in Amsterdam. Did you watch a lot of English football? Just tell us about your memories. Obviously, it's big over there.
Well, I've never watched the Championship before.
Yeah.
Well, I saw some games. That's how I knew it was fast-paced. But I more watched the Premier League, and yeah, I always saw that as like the top for me. That's what I wanted to reach.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to still reach that. Hopefully, that would be staying in the league and hopefully progress with this team, or maybe myself progressing and then getting there. So yeah, that I always looked at it as like the top league, and I always wanted to play in it. So that's a little bit what I saw, and over the years, of course, progressed as well with Pep Guardiola and the new like playing styles in the league. But
sure. Yeah.
To me, that's only good, and yeah, it's a good thing.
Which players do you sort of look up to when you're studying defenders and model your game on? And you know, if there's a game on, which players will you sort of watch, fellow defenders? Is there any that?
Well, of course, Van Dijk is also from FC Groningen. So yeah, I really like to look at him as a player, like the leader he is. I feel like I can really learn things from that. And of course, his attitude and how he approaches things. I feel like that's very, very big for me. And yeah, besides that, just the big teams you have like Ruben Diaz. I feel like it's a really big centre back, and he's doing a lot of good things. So I can always look and enjoy watching them.
Yeah, I didn't realise Van Dijk, he played for Groningen, did he? Is his influence, you can still feel it around the club with the coaches who coached him and that sort of thing?
Well, actually, the coach who coached him just came back to FC Groningen, so he came back to Groningen, and he told him like they always have contact, or they are still in contact. So it's always nice to know that like the coach who coached him is now was coaching me, so it was good to know. And of course, there's always an influence because it's a really big player right now.
Does that give you inspiration? I mean, obviously, it gives you inspiration in your own journey.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it shows that it's possible to go from that team to one of the biggest centre backs in the Premier League.
Yeah. Your time when you were injured at Groningen, I mean, you get stronger mentally. Was it when you were just training? Was it early, just after you joined the club?
Yeah, we were just in the preseason. I think it was second or third training, and then it happened. And
Was it your knee? Was it your knee?
Yeah, it was my knee. Yeah, and of course, I didn't know anyone yet. Just came from a lower league.
Yeah.
Didn't know what my level would be, and then that happened. So that was a hard time, of course. But like I said, I also gained a lot of weight. Stayed there.
Yeah.
And got to know my teammates, and a year later, I could immediately start.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you a lot of perspective, doesn't it? I mean, that's what it does.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, sort of, how's the Championship viewed in sort of Holland then? I mean,
in Holland, it's kind of viewed as like not equal to the Eredivisie, but because you have Ajax and those teams.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's kind of equal to that, but a lot faster than the Eredivisie. I feel like they say individually players are very fast, very strong, and if you compare it to the Netherlands, it's a little bit more technical and tactical.
Yeah.
So that's how they view England, as in like very strong.
Yeah.
You cannot just run around as you're not fast if you're not fast.
Yeah. You had a word with Joey Pellier-Pessi when he was at Sheffield Wednesday. He was interviewed him quite a lot. He was a lovely guy, and he must have spoken well about Yorkshire and the Championship. Did you speak to him a fair bit?
Yeah. He told me that he saw a player in me that would fit in the Championship, and he told me a lot of good things about this area. Also, yesterday I spoke to him, and he told me that he didn't know us with the coach because it was the same coach for him. With Sheffield, and he said I had to say hi to him because he really appreciated him. So yeah, he said a lot of good things, and a lot of good things about the about the Championship. And that I should enjoy it, and that I should show everything I got.
Yeah, that's helpful, isn't it, when you're coming into another country?
Yeah. It was not only Joey Pellier-Pessi, but also Michael Verrips, who played for Sheffield United.
The goalkeeper.
As a goalkeeper. He also told me a lot of things, still helping me around because they know the area a little bit better than I do, of course. It's very helpful to have those people helping you around.
Tell us about, from Amsterdam. It must have been very youth football played there, very competitive to try and get into a club, I would have thought.
Yeah. Well, I was born in Amsterdam, and then I moved to Almere. It's like very close to Amsterdam. And at first there was a professional team. It's called Almere City, who's in the Eredivisie now. They wanted me. I didn't feel like going because I just wanted to have fun at the time. And then I went back to Amsterdam, and that's where a lot of people went to get into a professional team like Ajax or AZ. And it was very competitive back then. But at the end, I just chose to go to Almere because it was close to my parents. Like, they don't have to do a lot of things, so it helped me. And at the end, I think it was a good decision because it got me where I am right now. Yeah.
Were you playing with any sort of famous names when you were younger? Any players?
No, I'm not really. Like, there's only one who just made a transfer as well, Azor Matusiwa from Stade Rennes right now. Besides that, I didn't really play with a lot of famous players. No.
Yeah. You'll be ready to go now. You've got over your little bit of illness, and you're just ready to make an impact straight away.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying it right.
Yeah. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Leon. We'll just come to Jim on the Zoom.
Okay.
Hi, Radinio. Radinio, first question for me to you. Just in terms of, you mentioned Groningen and the great history the club has in terms of Holland and Dutch sort of football. And Arjen Robben, a true legend of the club. When you arrived there at that club, did you almost feel his sort of presence everywhere embedded? Is he still very much seen as an icon? And did you ever get to speak to him during your time at Groningen? Is he still very much loved? Does he still very much visit the place? And did he have any words to say to you?
Well, first of all, when I signed, it was still like he was still playing there because I signed in January and he was injured back then. But the plan was for him to stay for another year, so I would play with him. But unfortunately, in the summer, he decided to stop playing. So everybody was bummed about that. And yeah, they were like hoping he would start doing something as a coach, maybe like stay involved with the team, but he chose to like stay away a little bit of football and do his own thing. But yeah, he came by because he was still like sometimes with the physical therapist back home. And yeah, I spoke to him once or twice, and yeah, of course, you can tell he's like very professional. He's still very fit, and yeah, you can really tell that he's a legend in Groningen, of course. This year, he also became a coach for the under-18s, like the assistant coach. So we saw him a little bit more, but this year I didn't really speak to him a lot. But like I said, you can really feel his presence, and everybody knows that what kind of a player he is.
And did he speak to you about English football and the Premier League? Obviously, he's beloved in the Premier League as well for his time in Chelsea. Did you ever have a discussion about English football with him and his experiences?
No, unfortunately not. I would have loved to, but no, I haven't seen him the last few weeks. So unfortunately, I haven't spoken to him about it, but I would have loved to.
Yeah, and I suppose, Radinio, coming to Huddersfield Town and coming to the Championship and coming into a sort of mid-season in terms of January, every foreign player likes that bit of time to settle, likes to have that bit of pre-season, likes to get to know their surroundings. But you're going to be very much thrust into the action straight from the off now in terms of the hustle and bustle of the Championship. Given Huddersfield's current predicament, they need results, they need points. There's no really time to relax and, dare I say, get your feet in and get your sort of comfortable. You really have to hit the ground running. Do you find that nervous in one sense, or is that something that you're well prepared of having to make an immediate impression?
Well, I think any football player will say that it's nice to have a pre-season, but on the other hand, you like to play the game. You like to play games as well. So I feel like right now I'll be here and I'll play games immediately, and I'll try to get used to everything around it, with the teammates, with the league, and I feel like that will go immediately with playing. I feel like it's not a problem to immediately be there. I don't really feel the pressure. I just do my thing, and that's the only thing I can do. So if it's good enough, we'll see, but I think it will. So yeah, I'm just gonna do everything I can, and then at the end we'll see where we'll end up.
And just in terms of the Championship, it has some real high caliber marquee strikers, the likes of Inuachu, Leicester City, Jamie Vardy as well, in terms of real top strikers, Leeds United as well, some real Patrick Bamford, to name a few. These guys have played in international tournaments, played international football at the highest level as well. So in terms of that, you're really going to meet strikers here that would be found at the same at PSV Eindhoven, at Ajax, in terms of Feyenoord, the big clubs in Holland. These type of strikers you want to meet at the top level of the Championship could easily play for some of those clubs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the better the players, the better they make me as well, right? So, and the better I have to play. So I really look forward to those games where I can show that, like, what I can against those players. That's nothing different than what it was last year for me against all those good teams you were just talking about. And yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, it's just a good thing, I guess.
And you spoke about your attributes in terms of your pace. And are you a ball-playing defender? Do you like to play out from the back? Do you like to spray passes? Do you like to come into maybe a deep role, like midfield role as well, and really get your foot on the ball and sort of dictate the play from the back? Or do you just like the hustle and bustle in terms of the one-to-one defending and just do your job and lay off the ball?
Well, I think for now it's very important that we keep that 0 on the scoreboard. So for now, that's the first job I have. And besides that, I just want to do both. Like, I want to be hard on, like, when we defend, and I want to be good on the ball. So that's a little bit what I want to do. That's my goal, and that's where I'm going for. So it's not one of the two. It's actually I want to do both. I know that's a high standard, but you have to set the bar high to achieve good things. So that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. And finally, my last question to you, Radinio. It's such a big game. It's such a huge game in terms of the season now, in terms of Huddersfield, in terms of QPR. There's 3 points between the teams. A win for Huddersfield could stretch that to 6, which is huge given that we're in the start of February at the moment. And I suppose you're coming into a club, you're getting used to tactical sessions and basically sessions where the manager's giving us out his instructions to different sort of nationalities. Is it some way different in terms, or is it all the same in terms of the tactical sessions that you would get back in Holland in terms of going through video analysis, video footage? Is it the same, or do you feel that maybe it's a bit more developed or involved in England? Has it, in terms of this week, in terms of preparation, or is football preparation the same no matter what league you are in?
Well, you're saying it right. The last thing you said is like I don't think it's different. I haven't experienced any different things so far. Like I said, of course, it's different in the game with the players who are better. I feel like individually, I feel like that's the only real big difference between where I came from and where I am right now. Because during the week, it's kind of similar to what I'm used to.
Radinio, perfect. That's all for me. Take care and best of luck for your time and your venture with Huddersfield.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you very much, everybody. That's all. All good. Catherine, thanks for your patience. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, Darren, as always. QPR away on Sunday then. Is this a must-win game?
Yeah, it's always a must-win game because the next one up, Catherine. So, we always feel and plan and prepare to go and win a football match. It's never any different. And this being the next one, of course, it is a must-win game for us. So we're planning and preparing for the game, and we look forward to the game on Sunday.
Is there slightly more riding on it, though, purely because of the nature of where the teams are in the division? Fourth bottom against third bottom, the implications of losing on Sunday are quite big.
Yeah, and we've always looked at, and certainly myself and the group of players, has always looked upon looking ahead and what's above us and keep moving away. That's always been the mindset and the mentality here, is to look up and not the other way. We've got a game against QPR on Sunday. The league positions of the team are what they are, but certainly our mindset and focus is to keep looking forward and plan to prepare to do that. As I said, Catherine, before, that we feel that as a group of players and staff, we're in a good position in terms of the performances where they've been, and we continue to keep moving the team in that right direction.
When the owner, Kevin Nagle, though, has very publicly said, from his point of view, it is a must-win game. Is that helpful? Does that add more pressure onto the players that perhaps they could do without?
No, it's helpful because it clearly shows that our chairman is a passionate man and wants to win football matches. And that's what is echoed to the whole football club in terms of it, because we all sharing that together. The players, the staff, myself, sharing that. And the chairman's leading from the front in terms of wanting to win football matches. I've never worked under any chairman at any of the football club that don't want to win matches, whether it's be a Saturday or a Tuesday. We all want to win matches. The chairman is a very, very successful man in terms of his business, and he's bringing that winning mentality and desire to the football club. So again, Catherine, for me and the group of players and the staff, we endorse what the chairman said in terms of that, and he's certainly leading from the top in terms of he's been here, showing great support to the whole structure of the football club, and none so more on the field of play.
Football management, inevitably, it takes no prisoners. If it doesn't go your way on Sunday, are you worried for your own position?
For me, looking at the situation, it's the business and the gig that we sign up for. When you come in as a manager of a football club, we know the industry, we know the business, it's what we signed up for. When I came to Huddersfield Town Football Club and meet the chairman, his passion was to win games. It's my passion to win games, and that will never depart. So for us to look and for me to isolate one game on a Sunday and do that, that's something that I've never ever put in my situation. My situation is, as a manager of the football club, my job is to prepare the team and to go and win games. And that's how we'll keep the focus, and that's what we've done, Catherine, and we'll continue to do, is to keep looking forward and stay moving forward. The bits and pieces in the media and what's been said around it, we understand, but it is the industry, and football will never change. That will be now and forevermore.
Have you had that reassurance from the owner then, that if it doesn't go your way on Sunday, and let's hope it does, but has he reassured you that come what may, no matter what the outcome on Sunday, he wants you to continue in this job and continue the project you've started?
As I said before, Catherine, we feel here, and the chairman's expressed that right through the whole football club in terms of the game, and he's really passionate for the game on Sunday. And I think what he's calling for us all to do is to make sure that we've always done is putting our energies and our focus into the next game, which is Sunday. And that's exactly what we've been doing. That's exactly what we've been doing in training. It's exactly what we've been doing in the preparation for this game. And it's how we'll apply ourselves come on Sunday. Is to go and look forward to go and win the football matches, or the football match, should say. After that, we'll take things as they come after the game. But there's a real positivity and energy throughout the whole staff and the players, really, to go and perform and look to go and win the game on Sunday.
And do you go into it with that mindset? Are you going to go there and be brave and attack it?
Catherine, we've always focused on trying to win the football match. When you say brave and attack it, my remit has been, the previous matches leading up to it, you can only apply yourselves with the tools what's been available. And we have to remember that it's only last week that it looked like that one or two of those tools were available after what we deemed what would be a successful transfer window. Up until then, we've had to put square pegs in round holes. What we've done is we've shown over the back end of last year and now that our intent in bringing in players that we felt would strengthen the team and show that right area. What I've been pleased with is that from the owners and sort of the bosses above, it's shown that intent that they've backed what I've said and backed in terms of what we wanted to bring to the football club. And we all know as all connected with the football club, the areas that we've strengthened, the players that have been brought in, has been a clear identification in terms of the team, and we have done that. And they were only really brought in last week, really, to sort of play against Blackburn. And they've had 45 minutes of training. Some was available, some weren't available. And we've had a good, solid week this week. And we plan to go forward and continue to move forward with those tools that we have available. That's not been there all season. So I'm really pleased, and it clearly shows that there's a unity within the football club in identifying some of those issues that we had. What we're trying to do now is bring them all together and continue to work. And obviously we look forward to that game. And hopefully, like I said, we'll get them to settle in and gel into the team as quickly as possible.
You got a really good win against QPR at home. It was a very fast start, 2 early goals. And then I think your frustration post-match with that was that despite the win, felt your side maybe sat back a little bit too much. It could have been a much wider margin of victory. What lessons do you learn from that win against QPR that you can maybe take into the game on Sunday?
Yeah, the game, no one game ever plays out the same when you come round to it, so it'd be a different game certainly down there. But what I remember from the game was we had a real quick, fast, blistering start, and it was a real learning curve for me in terms of where the team at, because we had a real blistering start and an exciting opening 20-25 minutes, and it we kind of took the foot off the gas or pressed pause, and we kind of sort of just wanted to see the game out, really, which it wasn't the case. I'd like to think that the team's in a different mindset in terms of where it was then, and this time from the learning from that, Catherine, would be more of the same and keep that pressure and keep that element on it. Though that was the game at the start of the season, we predict a very different game on Sunday, but should it run in the same direction, then the message would be clear, is to continue to keep the foot firmly on the pedal.
You've mentioned some of the new additions who've arrived at the club since that game. Any further transfer business expected, or are you done now? Is that it? Or should we expect maybe a couple more arrivals, any more departures?
No, I think it'd be wrong for me to say that's it and departure. And that what we are just saying, is there anything in the pipeline at the moment? No. But the window's still open, so we'll see. Obviously, with the window being open, hopefully the group will continue to develop and move forward and continue to show that progression, which they have been doing. As I said, before, I'm pleased with in terms of where the group's showing at the moment, though you might probably identify it with a result and with winning games. Certainly the performances, certainly when I look over the last certainly half a dozen games, the performances have been in the right direction, and we need to continue doing that, because in order to get the wins that we need, the performance needs to be in place, and we feel that as a group of players and staff that we've been aiming towards that. So we'll continue to do that. But in terms of that, Catherine, whilst the transfer window's open, I'll just stay in that neutral zone and just continue to focus on the team.
With regard to team on Sunday then, we've spoken to Radinio Balker. He's clearly recovered from his illness. Anybody else likely to return for Sunday? I'm wondering where Delano Bergzorg, Jaheim Headley are in their recovery. Yeah,
no, they're still with the medical team, still recovering, so they won't be considered involved. Probably maybe the ones probably that Matty Pearson's back in training. He's just been back in this week, so We can assess him over the next couple of days and see how he is. And I can't think at the moment, Catherine, who's probably been out and probably not in there, but that's probably been one noticeable figure.
Okay, other than Matty Pearson, is there anybody else likely to be back in the frame for Sunday?
We don't think, looking at it, I wouldn't say that there's much more. That's probably been one of the longer term injuries coming back. I'd probably say it's Matty Pearson.
Okay. Thank you very much, Darren. Good luck on Sunday.
Thanks, Catherine. Cheers.
Thanks, Catherine. We'll come to Stephen from We Are Terriers next.
Hi, Darren. You say you're on the lookout still in the transfer window. Is it at this stage trying to get something done if you can, but if you can't, then you'll consider yourselves happy with what you have been able to get done so far?
Yeah, I think I'll probably be able to answer that once the window's closed. Stephen, in all fairness, I think for me now it's just I'm really pleased with the business we've done. Bringing the players in that we have brought in has shown a clear intent. Like I said, when we were speaking on here towards the end of the year, we spoke about doing our work as early as possible in the transfer window, which we have done. And then, of course, one of the ones was bringing Brodie back from his loan spell, which, we've been really pleased with his performances since upon his return, and then long may that continue. So whilst it is now, I'm really, really pleased. What it's just been now is, those players have come in and, what we've just wanted to do is just get them settled in, just get them working, Stephen, and get them on the training ground. And we've had them on the training ground this week, and the quicker we settle them down and integrate into the squad and what we brought them here to do, then the better it'll be for us going forward.
Are they all now in a position where if you want to, you can start them on Sunday?
I think looking at them all, just quickly running through them in my head, I suppose the one that we had to really check on really was Radinio in terms of his illness, because with that one, with the illness, it was just how much is it taking it out of his system really in terms of that. So he's the one concern really that we've been really monitoring in training, and we still have a couple of days to monitor him, and that will be the only decision that we leave to the last minute, is whether we deem is he physically fit enough and strong enough to cope with the demands of the game, because as I said, it was quite a vicious illness that he had that depleted him a little bit. So he's just been about building up his getting some good food into him and nutrition into him and physically getting some good work into him.
And there's no new issues in the squad for this weekend?
I like the question, Stephen, but I never like answering it when we've got a couple of sessions to make. So hopefully, all being well, then we should have a clean bill of health, all being well.
Okay. One of the things the chairman has said, Kevin has been quite critical of the shape, or at least the style within that shape. Is that something you agree with, or do you think there's ways that you could keep that 3-5-2 and sort of make changes within it that might give the chairman a bit more of what he wants to see?
Yeah, I understand that with the chairman saying that, but again, we have to remember that we've worked with the tools that we've had available. So within that, with the tools we had available, there's certain aspects where I probably feel my hands were tied a bit, and in terms of the team. But part of the manager's job is there's many different shapes and formations I play. Stephen, and if you look back at my time at West Brom, my time at Doncaster, and certainly my time when I started at Sheffield Wednesday, you'll see the different shapes I've adopted and played. So to be associated with the 3-5-2 is not something that it is, but what I have tried to do is step into the football club, look at seeing what's been available and seek the best shape in order for us to progress and move forward, and that's what we've done. What we have done in the transfer window is we've made some signings that has allowed us to potentially, with the return of one or two from injuries, allow us to change the dynamics of the team as and when we see fit, and that's what we'll try and do in terms of going forward. So when we get those available, we get time to work to apply that. And that's where I feel more happier now, sort of now that the January window's open, and there's been that support shown to bring those players in. we can start applying that now and start moving forward and looking at maybe different shapes, systems, formation that you might go with in terms of what you deem probably being on the front foot.
I think some people were a bit surprised to hear the chairman sort of being so critical on, so publicly on footballing matters. I think maybe it's something we're not quite used to in this country, certainly. Is that what Kevin said? Was that a conversation you'd had with him privately, previously, or is that did it come as a surprise to you as well?
It's honestly, his passion is when I came to the football club, it's what put myself and the chairman on the same page, was his passion to win, and it's a passion to win that a passion that I share. For him coming out and saying what he said, it just illustrates one thing: he wants to win. I want to win. Everybody at Huddersfield Town wants to win. So him expressing his views out there just shows his passion. And people look and think that it was a criticism against the club. He's the chairman and the owner of the football club, and what better way of showing passion? So we endorse in terms of the passion that he showed. So we're on the same page in terms of that, and we can understand his frustrations. Absolutely, you can understand the frustrations, because that's part and parcel of football in terms of your frustrations. But what it is I think where I'm in agreement with him and always have been. And respectful of him and honour him in terms of the position in terms of him being the chairman at the football club, is that he shows a passion to want to win. And if that is to drive and galvanise us going forward, it can only be a good thing, really, Stephen. So for me, I'm all for it, and that's why I came to the football club, and that's what the game's about, winning.
Do you feel, one part of what he said there was that he'd spoken to other managers that he knows about, got their assessment of where things could improve. Do you feel that undermines your position at all, or is that are those voices that you welcome?
Stephen, today every manager, not just me, is always being questioned. It happens at the very highest, whatever you deem the very lowest of the league. It's part and parcel of the job. You're in a position where everybody has their own opinion, and that's what makes the game so beautiful, because everybody has their own opinion in what shape you play, what players you should play, what system you should play, how you should be doing this, how you should be doing that. It's always going to be prevalent to the professional game. That's the game. I think that the biggest thing is coming in here, you have to accept that that's the game that we're in. And it won't just be myself and Huddersfield Town that's being questioned week to week. Every single one of us in this position, and that's part and parcel of it. And it'll be here today, and it'll be here tomorrow, and onwards into the future.
Fair enough. Thanks, Darren. Unfortunately, we had what looked like some good news last week with Ollie to return for the B team. Turned into the worst possible news that he requires another surgery. He'll be out for the rest of the season. It's a horrible blow for him, isn't it, and for the club?
Yeah, we're really. I speak on behalf of the team, the staff, everybody in terms of Ollie and the news that we got. Because it was looking so promising for him, and now we've got this injury setback for him, and the medical team will do like they've always done, is do their absolute best to get Ollie back in full fitness going forward. So with that in mind, we share Ollie's sort of pain and probably disappointment at not probably being back for the second half of the season, but we're really supportive of him in terms of making sure that he's getting the right rehabilitation, the support is around him, the support mechanism around him, and Ollie knows that when he's back fully fit, we'll welcome him back with open arms back into that first team fold. But right now he's got our full support and backing in terms of the next part of his rehabilitation to get back to full fitness.
Does this setback, does that have any impact on what you might look to do in the transfer window? Did you have him sort of penciled in for that role, knowing that he was due back around this time?
Yes, I did have him back penciled in for that role, for him to come and play that role. Yes, I did hear all the the wonderful things about Ollie. Obviously working with him here, what a wonderful individual, so much positivity and energy, but also catching up and seeing some of the footage of what he could supply us in terms of going forward. So I did have him down and earmarking what a wonderful player to have to come back in with his experience and his quality really, and the position what I had for him in the team. That's no longer going to happen for the remainder of this season. So what the next best thing is to support Ollie on his rehabilitation and get him ready for when he's due back, and whether that's for pre-season and that, then so be it. The main thing now is that we support Ollie and we make sure that he comes back fully fit and healed from this latest setback.
Because that's where it's a blessing that Brodie has come back and in such good form, because he's a right back by trade. He can certainly play that role, and you've now hopefully with Radinio back and Matty Pearson on his way back, you've got a wealth of options at centre back. You can afford to move him. Yeah,
and that was the looking at the aspects, because losing Utah and losing Jaheim and Matty P was a real blow to us in terms of our defensive cover. And grateful for Ben Jackson's versatility and bringing Brodie back in, and then certainly the likes of Leesy and Mish holding the fort really in terms of where they've been at, because very fortunate that if one of them two would have taken a knock at that time, it would have really left us short. So having Radinio in now and seeing Matty P back on the training ground, it's a real wonderful sight for me to see really, in terms of getting those defensive covers back and getting that strength in depth. Ollie was part of that really, seeing Ollie come back in, and had Ollie completed his game time, then he would have been deemed fit now, part of the squad for this weekend's game. So it shows the disappointment we all share in it, but also at the same time is we support him going forward. So it's something that we'll see how the team develops. Hopefully, Steve, we won't get no more knocks or injuries in that department, because we certainly had our fair share.
That's all from me. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sunday.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. We'll come to Leon from the Yorkshire Post in the room.
I hear Darren. Do you sort of accept? I mean, when you in the autumn you came in, you had a hellish amount of injuries. They're clearing up a little bit. You've made some decent signings in the market. Do you accept that it's a fair time to sort of judge you really?
Yeah, I think the first bit when we come in, we can understand. Obviously, when we came into the football club, we can understand all the excitement and everything else. Yeah. But we just have to remember, Leon, that through no fault of anybody's, we've just had a real tough time in terms of it, and we've had to be adapting. And I honestly, I give this group of players so much credit in terms of how they've came up against adversity in a short space of time and gotten on with it. And I've spoken about the honesty and the commitment that they give every single week, and it's credit to them. What we've been allowed to do now is increase the depth of the squad with one or two signings in key areas of the pitch. And I was at touchline at Blackburn, and when Bojan just controlled the ball after the first 30 seconds, he come on and laid it off. There was a massive cheer from the away end. And what I meant with the fans is because they've seen something that they've not seen all season. And you have to remember, Dell has been playing as our number 9. But if you look back in the history, Dell's not an out-and-out number 9. He's probably more of a wide player. So we've had to be adapting in that position. So things like that, when you're looking at it, you have to remember in terms of when we came in and when we took all the reins in here, where the team was at. And that's where we've had to be adaptable in quickly learning about the team and adopting the style. What we've done is we all got together, chairman, Jake, Mark, and Lee. We identified areas that we needed to do, and we all came on the same page together, and we've brought those players in. Those players need to be integrated in really, really quickly and settle down really quickly into a system. So now it's a time where I managed to have a transfer window and bring 1 or 2 in, but hopefully as well, Leon, is getting them back off the treatment table, which allows Huddersfield Town a little bit more strength in depth in terms of going forward. And that's the bit where we feel though we felt that we've done solid and good work before, we feel hopefully now for the second half of the season, these latter games, with 1 or 2 returning, then hopefully it'll see the fortune of the team turn.
In your managerial career, at your last club as well, blocking out the noise, handling big games, this is a situation that you were used to, isn't it? You know, it's fair to say it's been part of your life as a manager in some respects.
Yeah, I think I look back at my managerial career, and when you look back on it and you look at all the clubs that I've happened to come in at the time, have been in a time of change, struggles. West Brom, when I took it, was struggling. Doncaster, when I took it, was struggling. Sheffield Wednesday, when I took it, was struggling. Huddersfield Town, when we took it, was struggling still after 7 or 8 games. Probably, if I look back on it, it's probably in the same position as it is now.
Yeah.
So when I look back on it, they've all been games, but what I've always had from certainly the ownership coming in is been given a remit, and the process has been there. The process for Huddersfield Town this season was always to remain in this league. That's part of the process, and then next season it's to build and move forward. Currently now, as we stand here now, Leon, the team's in that position. We're still in that position where we can look forward and look ahead and kick on. So in terms of that, we share it in terms of the process, in terms of coming here, and we know the hard work, and we continue to do it. So as a manager, I'm responsible for the team and everything going forward, and that's the responsibility we take on because we understand the role. And I'm so enthused and driven and positive with it, is that the only way to do it is to remain positive, remain upbeat, which is always what I always do, and consistently look forward. And that's what I'll always continue to do in terms of the role. And what you end up doing, you end up turning it, you win games, and then there's a togetherness. What we need now is a togetherness. What we need now is unity, is everybody pulling together. And we get that at the football club, and that then it sends huge waves through this football club. You know, the fans are, you know, on the pitch, I said they're the 12th man on the pitch for us. They energise the players, and that's what we just do. We have unity right from the top, right the way through. And in order for that, that's what I've saw brought successes at the football clubs I've been at, in terms of the situation we've been at. When everybody comes together, you know, I use the phrase, it's not about me, it's about we as a collective, and everybody's got their part to play, and that's the bit what we'll continue to do, and that's the most important thing for me.
Do you think one result, one win, one catalyst could significantly change things, because you've got fresh options up front, more offensive options? You're like one win, one catalyst, that could really flip it around psychologically.
Honestly, and that's what we feel. We just feel that we're split hair from getting that. When you look at the games, you know, if you look at the Blackburn game last week, we all feel that we should have won the game in terms of how it was, but it's just we're splitting hairs really in terms of it. And we know that one win has a huge transformation in terms of that, and that's why I sit here as a manager, you know, expressing my views, because I work with a group of players. I'm in with the staff every single day of the week, and you see the progression and the progress, and you see the hard work and commitment that they're giving on a daily basis to bring that true. We want to win games for Huddersfield Town. We don't sit here thinking we're going to go into a game to lose it. We want to win. That's the fact, and I speak on myself and the group of players, the chairman, chief exec, sporting. We all want to win games, and that's what we've done. You know, there's been a lot of change at this football club in the last 7 months, and the change is to see this club go forward, never to derail it. It was all about seeing the club going forward. So that's what we feel. Do we feel we're still in the progress of turning this football club and pushing it in the right direction? Absolutely. We know there's a lot of hard work ahead, Leon, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, as I say, you know, and to usually when you got to turn things around, there's an element of hard work.
Yeah.
But in order to turn it around, there needs to be that togetherness.
Because that clinical, ruthless side, you've drawn a hell of a lot of games. It suggests that the structure in the organisation, that's pretty much fine. It's just that killer bit, isn't it?
That win, yeah, and that win kind of we associate it with the win, and rightly so. We want to win games, but when I look back at some of the games, your Bristol Cities, your Middlesbroughs, and you know, there's so many games that when you look at it, we took a point from it that easily could have been 3 points if it was just that one chance or that final touch or anything, or that just turns it into a win. And that's where we have to be. We have to be more ruthless at the top end of the pitch and be more concentrated at the other end, really, to keep the opposition at bay. And I think that's what we're consistently working towards and keep pushing towards, and none so more than the game on Sunday.
Cheers, Leon. Just checking in, Theo, from Yorkshire. Anything to add, or is that okay?
Yeah, good afternoon. Great to be here, and it's such an honour to be in front of you. I've got a few questions, and I'll just ask one or two of them. So, the first one is, some might say that Leeds is the toughest game of the season, but is this your toughest game of the season? Yes,
it's definitely the toughest game because it's the next one, Theo. So for us, any game we come up to, we just put all our energies into the next game and just focus on this game. And our eyes and our focus have never looked any further than the next game, which is all about QPR, which we're preparing for in the best possible way for Sunday.
The next question I wanted to ask was, within the business that you've done, do you feel that you can push on and get away from the relegation zone?
Absolutely. That's the aim. That's always been the aim, was to try and sort of manage the situation as best as we could from the first part, but certainly get to the transfer window and make one or two signings that would help the team progress further. And we firmly believe this at the club in terms of the signings that we've made, integrating them in the squad, and with hopefully the bright news over the next couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, with one or two more returning back off the treatment table, we'll see the squad in a more healthier position to progress and move forward. But our aim is to win games, and then we're very, very optimistic that with the additions that we've made and with the return of one or two from injuries, it's not only just to win games, but to progress and move away and start climbing up the league and looking at the teams ahead of us and catching them.
The last question is there any positions that you feel like that you lack in for this transfer window that you could still do business in?
It's a good question, and I suppose every manager, it will say all positions. If somebody was to come up available, that would help the team going forward. But right now, to answer that question, I'm just happy with the ones that we brought in, because the players that we brought in will help us going forward. For the mere fact, for the positions that they play in, that they're renowned with, we're really pleased to bring Reece, Bojan, Alex and Radinio in, and along as calling back Brody from his loan spell, will help the team going forward, in addition to the ones that we've got in already. So we really feel that going forward. And now, as I said before, we just want to get them settled, integrated in real quickly as possible, and get them gelling with the team, and their performances going will help us immensely.
Yeah, thank you, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Theo. Thanks, everyone. We'll see a lot of you on Sunday.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.